Standing at phone for pro boxing fans in Liverpool, Sonny Edwards. Sonny, let's get straight to the business. Your brother Charlie Edwards, big fight, taking on a local favourite in Andrew Cain. It got a bit spicy at the press conference there. What did you make of all that?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I think you former world champion in Charlie, a contender in Cain that's won titles himself. Someone that I boxed actually in the ABA finals about 12 years ago. Me and Andrew go way back. Someone I've got a great deal of respect for. And I can't lie here, I've been a bit buzzing all week. Not buzzing, I've been a bit like Andrew Cain is one of the scariest people I've ever met in boxing. I know he's only like my height, 5 foot nothing, 3'4" or something. But anyone that actually knows him knows he's one of the genuine, most aggiest, most angry little tough fuckers about, to be honest. And I've got a lot of respect for him, so that won't be lost in this fight, regardless of what happens, because me and Andrew go way back. Obviously, I'm backing my brother. I want him to win, just as anyone on his side would be wanting him to right now. But yeah, Charlie giving him a bit of stick and poking the bear a little bit. To me, I'm thinking my brother's a mad cunt. I'm thinking, I wouldn't say nothing like that to Andrew Cain. He'll turn up at your house, Andrew. But nah, he's good, man. But he's a proper serious fighter. But my brother is as well. Like, okay, he might not have the same style as Andrew, and it's probably easier to be more impressed by Andrew's style from the outside looking in. But Charlie's only ever looked remotely human in the boxing ring against Martinez, Casemiro. I'm talking about good world champions. Really big punches, like huge world level punches. Has my brother only ever looked average? Apart from that, he's dominated 90-80% of every single fight that he's ever been in. Outboxed them, out-engined them, outsmarted them, outworked them, got out of the way of most of their shots, constantly countering. Like, it's very easy because of the hiatus and the little up and down bits to sort of write my brother off and not really rate him very high. But he won a world champion. He challenged from really early against a good champion in Casemiro. Had a good fight, got stopped in the 10th round, but was actually doing his best work in the couple of rounds before getting stopped. My brother's always been a very good fighter, was a top-lauded amateur, one of the top from young all the way through the circuit. Had his debut on the Sky Sports, was getting pushed, had a world title fight that he shouldn't have been in his 8th fight against a 2 freeweight world champion who had more knockouts than he'd had fights. And then since then, yeah, look, he had a bit of a stop and a start, left promoters, left managers, and went to the wrong people, ill-advised, got sidelined for 2 years because no one would work with his manager at the time and trainer at the time. And yeah, now he's had to dig himself back out. He's had to. He come through. This is his 3rd title in a row. 3rd title in about 12 months, I think, maybe even less than that. And he's done it the hard way. And I'm proud of him, massively proud of him. And he's more than capable of doing it. And he's always been a very good fighter. It's easy not to rate him as highly because of the certain things, but when you remember who they're in against, like, if you don't just blow out my brother on the water, you're in for a long night every single time. Like, that's the only way to beat him by the looks of it. You have to go hard, you have to go fast, you have to get him hurt, and even then he's tough enough to keep going. Okay, Martinez got hit on the floor. Casemiro, he got really badly hurt early on and was going still to the 10th round. Do you know what I mean? He's tough, my brother, and he's got heart, and now more than ever he knows in his mind that he wants to be here. He's not always been able to deal with people's opinions and people backstabbing you and lying to you, and he's always been a bit more sensitive to that earlier on in his career, and that's probably why people have seen the things of him they've seen and the reactions of him that they've seen. But he's just not that same person no more. He's a lot more content, he's secure, he's happy, he's grateful to be here, like genuine gratitude to be up on that stage, selling a fight, part of the circus, big stage, cameras, like, because he had all of that and then it was all taken away. And now he's got it back again. Absolutely,
we look forward to it. Sonny, just a quick word on your old division. I'm not sure if you managed to catch any of the Taraji fight this morning, but looks like it's going to be himself against the man you know very well, Galal Yafai. That's how things are laid out with the governing bodies. Taraji's sort of seen as the number 1 in the division now that you're no longer there. Bam's moved up. Do you think Gal has what it takes to dethrone him?
I just don't think no one cares about the flyweight division if I'm not in it, to be honest. I just don't really think, like, and it's just from what people have said to me. Like, I've not heard nothing about anyone else really. I didn't even know Taraji fought yesterday.
Today?
When I was in the division, I would have known. I was watching his last fight, thinking I was going to have him next. Good fighters, and Galal's a terrific fighter. Remember that. Galal's a terrific fighter. But the problem is with my division is that since I lost, retired, said I didn't want to be here no more, did the press conference, welcomed Galal in, I've travelled around the world of boxing and been at every single show. I've not seen anything of Galal. Do you understand? That's the problem though, is what I'm saying. Because you can go and win and get the best win and a dominant win and a dominant display against the biggest name in the division, against the number one in the division. But if no one has nothing to react off of you, then what actually happened? Okay, yeah, a little bit of... But if I was managing Galal's career, he would have maximised this last 3-4 months in a way that would be making his career going forward completely in a different position that it was. And don't get me wrong, it kind of is, because he beat me and he beat me well and he stopped me and he got the belt and he's basically pushing for world titles. But I'm talking about when it's marketability, when it's actual, you've got some attention now. Like, I've not had to endure nothing. I've not had to endure nothing. Like, no interviews, no, Sonny was this, like, nothing. Do you know what I mean? And, like... But why? Not even like, oh yeah, loads of respect to Sonny and da-da-da-da-da. Like nothing. He should be using the fight against me as the biggest name in the division to keep building his up. And I guess sometimes less is more, but not at our weights. Because unfortunately, when 5'3", 5'4" people walk around this earth, nothing we do is that interesting to people. If we were 7 foot, just us walking in the room would be interesting to people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we got to go out there and do a little bit more. We got to say a little bit more. We got to sell a bit more. And one thing I'm good at is, even if it's the worst moments, I've really found a way to maximise my worst moments to they've also been good moments, and that's every single time.
So like you feel as when you're not a heavyweight or in the glamour divisions, you've got to do more than just perform in the ring? 100%.
1,000%. 1,000%. And even in boxing in general, if you do loads outside of the ring, you can be quite boring inside the ring. It's just how much they feel when you're getting in there. Because if you can put people on the edge of the seats before you get in there, even if it's touching and close, they live in every moment in that touching and close fight. If they just don't care, they just don't care about whatever happens.
Speaking with the business of boxing, what do you make of this link up between Turki, Alalshikh, Dana White, the TKO stuff? Is it going to put Frank and Eddie out of business?
Do you know what? I can't lie, and I'm sorry. This is the third time I've been asked this question in about 5 minutes. I don't care. There's so much in boxing I don't care about. We'll see how it goes. Now, there is too many venues, there's too many fighters, there's too many people involved in boxing, there's too many fans that want to see boxing for one person to take over everything everywhere. It's impossible. Not only is it impossible for them to do it, it's impossible for them to even want to bother doing it. Because why would Turki Alalshikh want to be doing the next gen shows? 10 rounders in York Hall. Boxing has to have them though, do you understand? You don't just get to finish at the end. You have to build up, you have to go through. You can't go from this part of the game all the way to that. You can't. So yeah, they'll probably make a conveyor belt, a pyramid scheme, and it will be the one with the most money on top, how it always is, just in the world. Whoever's got the most power, the most friends, and the most people listen to him. Yeah, I'm coming now.
Absolutely. Last one, because I know you got to go. Just on a fighter's perspective, there's a sort of conflict of opinion over the value of the alphabet titles. Obviously you had the ABF, there's the WBC, WBA, WBO. Do you think financially, if Turki was to just say, right, it's just the Ring magazine, but we're going to pay X, Y and Z fighters who had dreamed of winning these world titles, that would be enough to put away the credence of the alphabet titles?
It means something until you've got them, and then it means much less. And then you realise that those kids that you've created need housing, need schooling, need feeding, need all the things that kids need, and you can't feed them with a belt. You can't do that with a belt. So therefore it really comes down to what fight is the best for me. And there's always a few things you've got to weigh up for. You've got to put it into different categories. Risk, how good the opponent is. Reward, how much you're getting paid. But not how much you're getting paid, where is it putting you after, whether you win, lose or draw. Then you've also got to look at location. You've got to look at the promoters. You've got to look at what you're trying to get to next. So is this a right step or is this a wrong step? Like, there's so much, and unfortunately boxing is so intricate and so complex that it'll be impossible to give you a proper answer to any of the questions you're going to ask, because for him, maybe, but for him, no. That promoter might get put out of business. That promoter might thrive. That fighter might never fight again. That fight might now go and win the new world titles. It's all on case-by-case basis, and it just depends on the synergy of the conversations that you can have around you. If you fit their show and what they're trying to do with their vision, then we can get it running. If you don't, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
So Sonny, there's people waiting for you to leave, so I'll let you go. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.